done this session before during the Diwali time. So we combined the what is Diwali and Diwali with Shri Lakshmi. With the Shri Lakshmi is basically defined in Shri Suktam. So we thought we will do the separate session only for Shri Suktam, which defines the attributes of Mahalakshmi or the Mother Earth. So let's continue that. Before that, I would like to touch upon the Vedic literature or the Vedas or the Suktas. So how it's all came into picture, how they have put together everything, right? So these Suktas are set of mantras from the Vedic literature. So Vedas are basically the knowledge. Whatever knowledge we gained, everything is from the Vedas. So Vedas are our pramanas. So whatever proof you wanted to get it, you can get it from basically from the Vedas. Only thing, you just need to learn those. So as I said, Suktas are a set of mantras from the Vedic literature. So all the Vedic literature are usually referred as mantras. And like itihasas like Ramayana, Mahabharata, and 18 Puranas, we refer them as Shlokas. So there is a difference between mantras and Shlokas. So these Shlokas, basically most of the Shlokas are derived from the Vedic literature or from the Vedas, or somebody has authored it, right? However, these Vedas are not authored by one single person, right? And it is assumed that it is given by the God himself. These Vedas are not authored by one single person. Remember that it is all given by the God himself. How? We will touch upon that later. So as the work gets bulkier and bulkier in this presentation, what happens is the indexing has become very difficult. So you have so many mantras, so many things. It's very difficult to put together and then define an index for it. So if you refer to, let's say, if you refer to an encyclopedia, you go to a lawyer office or you go to a doctor's office, you will see so many books, encyclopedia. If you want to reference or cross-reference something, it requires like a sophisticated system of indexing, right? So similarly, Vedic literature is very vast. So it took a great, I would say, great visionary to compile all the things put together and then create an index for it. So this great work was done by whom? Done by only one and only Vyasa. So that is why he is called Veda Vyasa. So what he has done is he has collected all the mantras from all the rishis for whom those mantras were revealed to them during their meditation. So he collected all these mantras and put together and he indexed it into 4 books. So one is called Rig Veda, another one is called Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. There are some auxiliary Vedas and Vedangas too that we don't have to touch upon now. So within the Vedas, there is a portion called Kila. So this Kila meaning annexure, or we will call it as appendix, right? Every book has appendix. So it's like that. So compilation of all the Kilas, are called Suktas. So within the Kilas, there are Suktas, and within the Suktas, there are mandalas. So they have to divide everything to put together the index, right? When you say index, they have to divide everything, and then it is easier for us to access. So these are the collection of suktas are called mandalas. Then collection of suktas. So in Rig Veda alone, there are about 1028 suktas. Imagine Rig Veda alone, there are 1028 suktas. So what we have learned here, very few suktas, like Purusha Suktam, Pancha Suktam, we call that as Pancha Suktam, right? Pancha means 5. Purusha Suktam, Durga Suktam, Shri Suktam, Narayana Suktam, Vishnu Suktam, Saraswati Suktam, Meda Suktam. There are so many suktas are there available. But we have not gone that far. There are 1028 suktas are available in those mandalas. So there are if you put together all those 1028 suktas, so total mantras will be 10,552 mantras, which is divided into 10 mandalas. Can you imagine who would have written all those things? So obviously it has to be given from the God alone. A human being cannot do this. It's really, really tough. All the rishis were in deep meditation, deep tapas, and then they can go to Mars and they can come back. They can even penetrate into a small stone or even a small atom, small element. They can even penetrate during their meditation. So that is how they knew everything, whatever is existing in the entire Prithvi or entire universe. So if you go into a marriage, usually after before the wedding is over, the bride and groom, they go see the two stars, right? Arundhati and Vasishta, right? How do they know to see those two stars? It was written in the Vedas already before. And these scientists here, they just make like 100 years ago or one, they found out that those two stars are existing. And there is something called Nakshatra Sukta. Nakshatra Sukta was written thousands of years ago, defining all the 27 stars. These scientists now came back and say, yes, there are exactly 27 stars. Civil engineering, take everything, Ayurveda. It's so vast. This Veda is so vast, it's very difficult for a human being to put together everything, right? So the reason why we are going into this is, we need to know our basic structure, how it all arrived, right? So whatever may be the case, right? Ukta means said. Sukta meaning well said. Well said about what? It is as good as saying, wow. So in this country, when we say wow, the wow can mean so many things. Especially in this country, after I come in India, when we say wow, that means you're pricing. You are like in ecstasy. Yeah, wow, like that. But here, when you say, if someone say, hey, I'm having this trouble, oh wow. Everything has different meanings in this country, right? But in this case, what we will say, it's as good as saying, wow, it's really amazing, right? So what a brilliant way of saying it. That's what is Sukta. So now when we go deeper into it, well said about what? Each and every form of that particular Paramatma. The Paramatma can express in different forms, and different forms are portrayed into different themes. So those themes are said in these suktas, and Rigveda put together all these suktas. So all we know now is Purusha Sukta. We know Purusha Sukta talks about the male, and Shri Sukta talks about the goddesses, female goddesses. Right? So that is the understanding everyone has, but that is not the correct understanding. That's not the correct way to define. In Sanatana Dharma, what we believe is the supreme reality, or the consciousness. We call that as a consciousness principle. It's a principle, right? Or the Paramatma. So we also try to, teach to our Balaviga students whenever they come, Balaviga, the first shloka, what we teach in the Balaviga for the Balaviga students, Akhanda Mandala Karam, Vyaptam Yena Characharam, right? Akhanda Mandala Karam, Vyaptam Yena Characharam. So that message is consistent throughout. Khanda means broken. Akhanda means unbroken. So this Paramatma is unbroken, homogeneous mass, mandala mass. It's a mandala karam. It's a homogeneous mass. It's unbroken. However, it expresses in different forms. So which is called the Paramatma. So there are different supreme reality or different Paramatma, depends on whom you pray. So many people ask, according to you, how do you define the Hinduism? So first of all, I would say we are not an ism. We are Sanatana Dharma, and we follow the way of life. That is what is our principle. We are not an ism. However, for simplicity, we will call this as Hinduism. So how do you define Hinduism? If someone would ask, whether Hinduism is monotheistic or polytheistic. Then I say, in a multiple choice answer, there are 4 answers, right? A, monotheistic, B, polytheistic, and usually the last one will be none of the above or all of the above, right? And then C, give me a choice C, right? So we have a third choice here. So there is one monotheistic Paramatma called Parabrahma Paramatma. That Paramatma expresses in polytheistic form or multiple forms without becoming many. Is it confusing? Okay, let us say a father, right? When did a person become father? Basically, he doesn't become father. He is born as a child. He is called a child. He is a person. He is called a child. When he grows up, he becomes a teenager, and then he becomes as an adult, and he becomes married, and then he becomes a grahastha. Then after that, he gets a child. Then he got promoted to father, but the same person. It's the same person. How many multiple forms he is taking from the child? The same person expresses himself as, and then once he get another grandkid, he become grandfather. Right? The same person. Imagine a gold, right? A gold. You are big. You're wearing so many jewelries. These jewelries, you have bangle, you have ring, you have a chain and everything, but it's the same gold. The same gold is expressing in many forms. Similarly, here it is expressing in polytheistic form, but without breaking anything, right? The same one. It's only one. I think now you got the point, right? So of all these various forms, the most worshipped forms are like 5 forms. One is, someone follows Shaivites, some are following Vaishnavites, and some are following Ganapati, some are following Adi Parashakti, and some follows Surya Narayana. So those are called Shaivites, Vaishnavite, Ganapatyas, Sauryas, and Shaktas. So each one of them represent Paramatma with different nomenclature, but the Paramatma is only one. It's just the different forms, that's all. So that's what. So we know Vaishnavite, their Paramatma is Narayana, and Shaivite, their Paramatma is Sadhashiva. And for Shaktas, their Paramatma is Adi Parashakti. For Surya, their Paramatma is Surya Narayana. Right? So Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, if you put together everything together, there has to be some kind of energy for them. What are the energies of them? Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. So they're consorts. A lot of people ask, in your Sanatana Dharma, in your Hinduism, the gods have many wives. Why the gods have many wives? I would say it's not many wives. It's their energy. It's their consorts, right? Ganpati has 2 wives. That's what they say. Siddhi and Buddhi. It's not the wives. It's their energy. It's their consorts. Even you, as Shafalaji, take Shafalaji. Shafalaji have many skills, many energies. She can sing, she can write, she can talk, she can do so many other things. Those are all with their energy. Similarly, if a god, if that Paramatma has to take one form to destroy someone, it can take many forms. For example, let's say Parvati ji takes many forms. When she is like a Parabrahma Swarupini, when she wants to give away something, she takes us Annapurni Avatara. Annapurni is basically feeding the people. Annapurni, she gives out. And when she wants to destroy the demons, she takes another avatara, Kali. Right? Mahisha, she has to kill everyone because of the evils. So the same goddesses takes different forms. So that is why it's called. They are all concepts. They are all energies of that particular Paramatma. So Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, we have Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. So we should not be confused with Shri Suktam is only for female goddesses. It is one Paramatma. That is the concept we should always remember here, right? Shri, from absolute standpoint, is nothing but that Paramatma alone. So whenever you refer to as Shri, if you are calling Shri Shafalaji or Shri Shekharji, Shri is called Parabrahma Paramatma. Yes, Shafalaji is Paramatma. He came from there. Shekhar Reddy came from there. Swamiji cleanly mentioned in one of their series, right? Shivoham. That is their own nature. Shivoham. You are the Brahman. You are the Parabrahman. You are the Paramatma. And we are looking outside. Which is the wrong concept, right? So with this, the Shri Suktam basically consists of 15 mantras put together. And after that, there are some kind of Palashruti. Palashruti meaning benefit of chanting Shri Sukta. That is also said in the Veda mantras. So a lot of people, they don't even chant, Palashruti for benefit. But we do have to chant because it is said in the Vedas. So Palashruti, if you know the Palashruti, then we will know the meaning of the Shri Sukta. So because it clearly tells us the benefits of chanting this Shri Sukta or benefits of doing meditation upon Lakshmi ji. So that is what Palashruti is called. So that is why it is also called Panchadasarcha. Panchadasarcha meaning 15 mantras. So what we will do, we will split these 15 mantras into 3 sets, 5, 5, and 5. So this session, we will try and cover the first 5 mantras. And then next session, we will cover the 5. And then I have already spoken to Shefalaji. She is going to schedule, next couple of sessions. So this way, we can go over all these mantras. So it's very difficult to absorb the meaning of every mantra, all the 15 mantras in one session. So, we can definitely give a high level of, high level talk on every mantras, but, that's not enough. What is the rush? Where are we going? Nothing, right? So we can just take our time. We will go deep dive into every mantra. And then we will cleanly define the attributes of Lakshmi and what are we doing with that Sri Shukta, how we have to meditate upon that Lakshmi. How we have to meditate, that is very important. How we have to meditate upon that Lakshmi. So for each mantra, what we will do, we will see the high level meaning of the mantra. On top of it, after the meaning, then we will go to, I would say, Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika, right? All these 3 levels we will go, right? Spiritual level, materialistic level, and, Paramatmic standpoint level. So all these levels we will go. So within the Sushukta, Shri is we know Shri is the primordial cause. That is which is recognized as Narayani, who is the husband of Lakshmi, Narayana, and she is called Narayani. So she is also recognized as Trembake, and she is also recognized as Parvati. So how is it possible? How come 3 names? We are talking about Shri Shuktam here. How is it possible? So you need to think from the highest standpoint, right? So that Paramatma, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, under Shaktis, without the Shaktis, there's no Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. So she is the one expressing as Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati, as we said, and then the naming should not confuse us. So that is what we are trying to say here. And this word Shri meaning is, Sharanagati. That's the root word. The root word of Shri is Shri. So this means take refuge. Refuge into whom? Sharanagati. Final refuge for everyone is what? Sharanagati. That's it. Shriyate sarvaihi iti Shri. Shriyate sarvaihi iti Shri. That is what is called Shri. So that primordial cosmic energy, who is the final refuge for all the creatures, such conscious principle is recognized in Shri. So since this Shri is in Strilinga, here we are looking at the female goddesses Lakshmi. So that is why Shri is called Lakshmi here, right? So as we said, there are 15 mantras. Each mantra has its own Rishi. Because remember we said, every mantra is revealed to one Rishi. Each mantra, each mantra is revealed to one Rishi, and then Vyasa put together all those mantras together, and then he formed the set of indexes and everything. So each mantra has its own Rishi. While that Rishis were in deep meditation, these mantras were revealed to them. It was not that they are imagining something and then they are instructing us to follow something. So they in turn, what they did, they just advise. They taught all these mantras to their shishyas. That is why we always call our parampara as Guru Shishya Parampara. So they taught these mantras to their shishyas, but it was never documented. They taught that, so that is how it all came into existence. So, and there are so many other things which we can go in detail, like chandas and everything. So each mantra is defined in certain chandas. That means it's meter, right? Gayatri Chantra, Gayatri, Ushnuk, Anishtap, Brigati, Pankti, Trishtap, Jagat, all those 7 chandas are there. I think we have covered all this in one of the session, during our mantras chanting, I think. So anyway, so each mantra is defined in certain meters. That is how you will have to chant these mantras. Gayatri is 24 syllables. You all know what is the Gayatri mantra. Any Gayatri, for every god there is one Gayatri. Shiva Gayatri, Tatpurushaya Vidmahe, Mahadevaya Dhimahi, right? Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. Durga Gayatri, Katyayanaya Vidmahe, Kanyakumari Dhimahi, Tanno Durgif Prachodayat. So it's all, every god has Gayatri mantra. Take any god, right from sun. Bhaskaraya Vidmahe, Mahadyutikaraya Dhimahi, Tanno Aditya Prachodayat. Any god, take any god. You have a Gayatri. Those Gayatri is 24 syllables. That is why it is called Gayatri Chanta. Right. So now let's move on to our first mantra here. The first mantra, you would see, Where is my PowerPoint here? Right. Okay. The first mantra says, Hiranyavarnam Harinim Suvarna Rajatasrajam Chandram Hiranmayin Lakshmi Jata Vedo Maavaha. The first mantra is not addressed to Lakshmi. It is addressed to Jataveda. Jatavedo Maavaha. Who is this Jataveda? Jataveda is nothing but the Agni, the fire god. The seeker here, who is the seeker? We are the seeker. We are the sadhakas. We are the seeker. So we are seeking the presence of Mahalakshmi. How does she come? So we have to have certain medium for us to tell and invite Mahalakshmi into our spiritual heart. So who is the mediator here? Jataveda. He is the Agni. So what we do whenever we do any puja, we start with lighting the lamp, right? The Agni, because Agni is the mediator. We all know. So he is the one who take all our prayers and then he informs to that particular deity and then blesses. So here, Lord Fire Seeker, the seeker, basically praying Lord Fire here, which is Lord Agni. Lakshmi ma ava, ma avaha. Lakshmi ma avaha. I shall bring that Lakshmi onto me. Which Lakshmi? Is it M.S. Subbalakshmi or Vijay Lakshmi? No. Mahalakshmi. That is the Lakshmi whom we wanted to pray and whom we want her to bless us, right? So, and we want to define her attributes. So seeker is asking the Lord of Fire to bring Lakshmi onto me. Hiranyavarnam, one who has bright, glowing, golden color. Bright, the gold itself is bright. And when you see bright, golden, bright, glowing, golden color. So how bright it will be? Like Surya Koti, Vakrafranta Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, right? When you say Surya Koti, one sun itself we cannot bear. Surya Koti, Koti Surya, how do you even bear? Ganapati is like that. Koti Surya, he's like Koti Surya. So we know people who have Hiranyavarnam. We know people who have black hair, white skin, whitish skin, and brown skin, everything. But when we listen to the description of these gods, they have a different glow. It's not like us. It's not like black or white or whitish color or whatever. They have a different glow, right? Glowing like a polished gold, shining forth, right? Harini, one who is delicate. She's so beautiful. She's so delicate. Like whom? Like a deer. So when you are driving and you are passing by and you see a deer, I am 100% sure everybody will pause for a certain moment and then they will look at the deer and then go, right? It's so delicate. It's so beautiful. They see how it is running, how it is walking. So like that, Harini is so delicate, so beautiful. Harini, Suvarna Rajatas Rajam. Suvarna, she is the one who is wearing the necklace or the mala. What kind of mala? Suvarna, gold. Rajata meaning silver. So she is wearing a garland of gold and silver mala. So imagine this is all revealed to the Rishi. This is how they know Lakshmi Devi looks like this. Otherwise, how do you know? We have seen in the picture. Have you seen directly Lakshmi Devi? No. This is what is revealed to that Rishi. This Lakshmi is so delicate, so beautiful, in golden color, and she is wearing the gold and silver mala, Rajata, silver mala. So she has both gold medal and silver medal. So Jataveda, I request you to bring unto me or invoke on me that Lakshmi who is glowing like gold, who is beautiful like a deer, and who is wearing gold and silver mala. That is the first mantra. Then Chandram, Hiranmayin, Lakshmi. Chandram, so we all know, the sun glows, right? But it scorches. So before we start this session, Shefalaji mentioned, Rajesh ji, there is a big sunlight, on behind, so it is blocking it. So it's scorching, right? So then I said, okay, Shefalaji, I will mention that in the class, in our session. So the sun glows, but it scorches. Is Lakshmi Devi's glow is also scorching? No, It's as pleasant as moon, as pleasant as the glow of the moon. More than the sun, the moon that I pray is, that's what I wanted to invoke. So I would pray the moon more than the sun here, because the moon's glow is very soothing. That is why every time, when you are upset, you are in a bad mood, you say, you know what, let's go and then look at the moon. Everything will go away. How beautiful the moon is. However, it gets the light from whom? The sun, and then it releases it, right? So that's the irony here, right? So all these gods are compared to either sun or moon. So which is soothing nature, right? Glowing, it's soothing. So for any kind of, I think we already mentioned that. So now the second meaning here of this Jataveda is, Jataveda, we said it's a fire god, which is, glowing. And Jataveda also means the glowing one. Jataveda can be the attribute of that glow, which is Hiranyavarnam. Hiranyavarnam is gold, which is the attribute of that Hiranyavarnam. So we will be directly talking to Lakshmi Devi in this case. Instead of through the medium of Jataveda, we will be directly talking to Lakshmi Devi. Also, Jataveda means the entire Vedic literature called Narayana. So Vedas are nothing but the expression of Narayana that we know. So we are asking the permission of Mr. Lakshmi to come down in this beautiful form so she can bless me with the glory. That is also a different meaning. So many people put together so many different meanings. You can interpret in any way, right? So there is Shainacharya. Shainacharya has given a big bhashyam on these shlokas, on these mantras, and Bhattabhaskara also given. And Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya, he has given it. So many people have interpreted in many ways, but everything talks about the same thing. It just examples what they give is different. However, the meaning, and if you look at the content of whatever they are saying, it's all the same. Right? So how did we know to worship this Lakshmi Devi? It was through the Vedas that are given to us. Otherwise, you would never know. We go and read about so many other things. We want to know Java programming. We want to know Python programming, data analytics. We are reading so many things, but we never cared about reading what is said in our Vedas, because it won't pay you. You just tell, I will pay 120K every year. Can you read Vedas or can you become a priest? Everybody will be in the lined up. Imagine that. I'm not joking. This is serious, right? Everybody will line up. Everybody will go and learn these Vedas. That is the level we have to go. But we go learn so many other things, but we don't even give a penny to learn this. So that is what we have to go, and then we have to gain the knowledge from all this Vedic literature what we have. So we are inviting this Lakshmi, where we are inviting this Ma Avaha. We are inviting this Lakshmi onto our spiritual heart. Lakshmi, what is the meaning of Lakshmi? La means to bring or to bless, right? Shmi means to inspire, right? So Lakshmi means one who blesses with wealth of knowledge. It's not a bank balance. Lakshmi is not just merely bank balance. One who blesses with wealth of knowledge and inspires us to the highest standpoint, highest state of realizing one's own nature. That is what is called Lakshmi. Shivoham, understanding of one's own nature. Who am I? That is what is called. Who am I? Mandukya Upanishad clearly says, who am I? If you read, there are like 8 mantras or something in Mandukya Upanishad, beautiful mantras. And if you listen to it, you would know, who am I? Am I just a person? Do I have any identity? Identity is basically an ego, right? So if I call Rajesh is an ego. It's an identity. Just that, if I call, hey, that means, I cannot turn back, and then I cannot say, hey, you have to call with address with a certain name. Name is just an addressing, right? You're just addressing someone with a name, that's all. So the Mandukya Upanishad clearly says, who am I? So here it's the same thing. Lakshmi meaning understanding one's own nature. So that is what is called Lakshmi. Now, second meaning for Lakshmi is it's a mark of sign, right? Lakshmi represents all those signs that gives happiness. What are all the things that make you happy, right? Dhanam, obviously the money, dhanyam, the food, pashum, cows, whatever, any material that iPad. So all those things will make us happy, right? So all those things that make us happy is also called Lakshmi. Remaining all are called Alakshmi. So all these signs that gives us welfare and happiness is called Lakshmi Devi. So that is why we have so many Lakshmi Devis. Dhana Lakshmi, Dhanya Lakshmi, Vijaya Lakshmi, Santana Lakshmi, Saubhagya Lakshmi, then Veera Lakshmi, Dhairya Lakshmi, right? So many Ashta Lakshmi, right? Ashta 8, Ashta Lakshmi. So all signs of welfare and happiness is also called Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi also means Lakshya. Look at this, how many interpretations we have for Lakshmi. Lakshmi also means Lakshya. Lakshya, what is Lakshya? Lakshya means goal. So what is the purpose of our life? What is the purpose of our life? Don't tell me, I need to feed my children, take care of the family. That is not your purpose. That is your responsibility, right? That energy which takes us to that Lakshya, Lakshmi Devi, that is why this Lakshmi Devi is also called Kundalini Shakti. That means we have to have clarity in our mind. Such clarity is defined as Lakshmi. If you want to attain certain goal, you have to have certain clarity in your mind. Otherwise, you cannot attain that goal, Lakshya, right? So that clarity is defined as Lakshmi. So only with her presence, we can attain to that clarity. So many people, ask, do I have, the grace of the God? Of course, you have grace of the God. Everyone has the grace of the God. You just have to tap it. You just sit in a dark room and then you say, oh my God, I don't have any grace of the God. What do I do? You just have to go turn on the light. The sunlight will automatically come. It becomes light, dark. From the emptiness to wilderness. You just have to tap it. That's what it is. That is called Lakshmi. So the glow of the sun, it won't give you happiness for sure, because we always complain, oh, it is so hot and everything. Right? You go to Seattle or go to some other place, a long winter. Seattle, people are suffering. Every day it's rain. They don't see the sun at all. So many cases, right? So the seasons also impact, that the seasons also impact. So high case of depressions because of that. So there are so many things here we can go on and on and on to define this Lakshmi Devi. It's all the grace of Lakshmi Devi alone. Right? Then Tam Ma'avaha Jata Vedo. So you are inviting the Ma'avaha, you are inviting the Lakshmi Devi, you put it into your spiritual heart. Then you go, do I have that thing here? Okay. Tam Ma'avaha Jata Vedo. Hey Jata Veda, please invoke that Lakshmi who is Anapagamini. Lakshmi Manapagamini. Lakshmi Anapagamini. Anapagamini meaning who is very stable. When Lakshmi Devi comes into your heart, you don't want her to leave, right? You want her to be in your heart, right here, right? So that means she has to be stable. Anapagamini. I need that stable Lakshmi. Anapagamini. So that Narayana, who has two consorts, one is called Achala and another one is called Sanchala, right? Achala Bhudevi and Sanchala is Shri Devi. Here this mantra is representing for the Shri Devi. Get me that Lakshmi who is stable. Usually, wealth with various resources comes and goes, right? For example, you invest in stocks, you get some good money. You get some good money. You do some business, you get some good money. So these are all wealth, it comes and it can deplete in the next day, right? It may not be stable. It can deplete in like in a split second, it might go. Today, the stock market is 1,100 points. It just, bumped up. The next day, it can go to 100 points. It can go down. All your money, whatever you put in, the next day, it's gone by the blink of eyes. Before you rejoice, already gone, right? So all that is remaining is only that thought. Oh, those were the days when we had it, right? We had our big house and everything. Now, where are we? We are in a small apartment living here. Those were the days. Lakshmi Devi went away. So you want that Lakshmi Devi who is stable in your spiritual heart for everything, even to do the sadhana. You want the Lakshmi Devi so that your mind will not distract anywhere. So it has to be stable in your heart. Lakshmi can mean two things. Bring unto me. We will see the difference of meaning of this Lakshmi when we go deeper. Okay. So now then moving on. Yasyam Hiranyam Vindeyam. Yasyam meaning blessed by whom? Blessed by this Lakshmi Devi. Vindeyam, I shall obtain. What should I obtain? Gam, Ashwam, Purushanaham. I shall obtain gold, cows, horses, and men. So now what is he talking about here? Gold, cows, horses, and men. One peripheral meaning is, with the blessings of Lakshmi Devi, I shall. Someone have to mute their line. Can someone can you mute your line, please? I don't know who it is. Okay, thank you. Yeah, now we are good. So with the blessings of Lakshmi Devi, I shall obtain, or I shall lead most comfortable life. So when you have most comfortable life, when you have all these things, right? So all these upasanas is to, when we do all these upasanas is to come over some kind of dukkha nivarana, right? Dukkha, whatever sadness you have, dukkha nivarti, let's say dukkha nivarti. So it is definitely not wrong to ask the God, hey, I need this, I'm suffering so much, I need this, can you please give it to us? It's definitely not wrong. If not for the mother Lakshmi, whom else you can ask? Whatever you ask only the mother, right? If you go and ask your father will say, hey, no beta, nothing. Then you go convince your mother, and then mother will give you everything. Mother is so compassionate, so patient. She will give you everything, whatever you want, but she will give you whatever you are capable of handling, right? So imagine a toddler, right? Usually toddler likes all the shiny objects, right? So the toddler normally crawls. So and this toddler sees a knife, a shiny knife on the kitchen. The toddler goes, it crawls and then goes to grab the knife. Immediately the mother sees that toddler. Oh my God, what is she immediate reaction would be? Whichever is closer, she will pick it up. If the kid is closer, she will pick up the kid. If the knife is closer, she will pick up the knife, because she knows the knife is dangerous for that kid. However, the kid will not know. That kid will start crying. What kind of a mother you are? After all, I am just asking this knife. I'm not asking anything. I'm not asking $1 million. I am asking just only knife. I wanted to play with that knife. But mother knows what to give. Mother knows, this kid cannot handle this, right? So she will give us only which we are capable of handling, right? So that is what is Yasyam Hiranyam Vindeyam Gamashvam Purushanaham. On one side, we can call this mother as the one, we call her as mother of the entire universe. So we all know mother will not give something that the child cannot handle. So whatever you are capable of handling it, if you, let's say tomorrow I give you a couple of $1 million, will you be able to handle it? You may spend it in 2 days. It won't be stable. So mother knows how to give, when to give, what not to give. Everything the mother knows. So on the flip side to it is, if she has, given the experience, then should you be able to handle it? As the mortals, even we are not giving the child what it is not able to handle. How does the goddess mother Lakshmi Devi will give it to us, right? So she knows exactly, right? So tam ma'avaga jataveto Lakshmim anapagamini yasyam hiranyam vindeyam gamashvam purushanaham. Hey Jataveta, bring that Lakshmi unto me. What kind of Lakshmi? Anapagamini, Let that Lakshmi reside in that sadhaka or the seeker, that she never quit from the heart. In her grace, let her grace flow through on that seeker. So as I said, how do I know I have the grace? That's a big question everyone asks, but definitely it is not manufactured in China or somewhere, that grace. If it is manufactured in China, you will get it in Walmart for sure next day, right? So understanding the grace, the individual have to evolve. So it is not conditional. If it were conditional, it would not have been the grace first in the first place, right? If it is conditional, it would not be in the grace. So grace is like a sunshine. Imagine Shaphology, that is what I was talking about. Grace is like a sunshine. But you say, I am staying home, my doors are closed, my blinds are folded, everything is dark and there is no grace of sunshine. All that you have to do is just get up and open the blinds and open the window. The existing shine will flood your space. So that much we have to do. You have to get up, and then that sadhaka we have to do. If you are not doing any sadhaka and then we say, hey, I need a grace of Lakshmi, nothing will happen. So another thing is, how do you have a grace to identify is that, do you have, in a materialistic view, do you have a shelter to live? Of course, yes. Do you have food to eat? Right? Do you have 4 friends or a couple of friends to talk about your sorrows or about your happiness? Yes, we all have that. That means you have the grace right there. You got everything. That is even to talk in the material sense, you have everything. If these 4 or 5 things are there in your life, then you already have the grace. So this materialistic point of view, all we have to do is just put a little effort. That's all. So just meditate upon that Lakshmi, which Lakshmi we just talked about, that Lakshmi who put that Lakshmi into your spiritual heart and start doing meditation. You just have to do that little meditation. That's all, right? So in order, if you think about, the materialistic view, you have to have these 3 things, right? So let's say you have the instrument already. Let's say you are making dosa, right? So it's what are all the things you need for the dosa? Of course, you need the batter, dosa batter, and you need a pan to do this, and you need a stove, right? But having all these 3 things, will you make a dosa? No. You have to have certain intelligence to make the dosa, right? You have to put the batter. You have to do all this round shape in that instrument, the dosa pan. So material, there are 3 causes here: materialistic cause, instrumental cause, and intelligence cause. So you put the material in the dosa pan, which is the instrument, and you need to know how much heat you need to produce to make the dosa. That is the intelligence. If it is overheated, then it will become blacker. If it is less heated, it becomes a lumpy. So you need to know how much heat you need to have to make that dosa, right? So why the dosa is called dosai? You put 2 sides, right? If that do this and a swing, it will give a sound. That's why it's called dosai. It's just a joke. So you need to have all these 3 causes in order to make this dosa, right? And you have all these 3. You have all these 3. What are those 3? Body, mind, and intellect. Body is your material. Mind is your instrument. And intellect, that is the knowledge. That is the intelligence. So you have all these 3 in order to make the dosa already, or in order to reach that highest standpoint. We just have to tap it. We just have to sit down and meditate it. We don't spend time to do that. That is what we need to do. That is clearly said here. Tam avagajataveto Lakshmi manapagamini. If you do this, the Lakshmi will be stable in your heart. Lakshmi manapagamini yasyam hiranyam. You will get everything. Yasyam hiranyam gold, vindheyam mushroom. She will bless us with everything, whatever you want. She will, give us that grace. She will give us the glory. She will give us the glow. Everything she will give us. And beyond that, she will give you all the gunas also, because our gunas are, going everywhere, awkward, right? Rajasic guna, tapasic guna, and sattvic guna, right? From Rajasic to tapo, then after that to sattvic. It just keep on jumping everywhere. You start meditating, it just keeps on jumping everywhere. All those gunas. She is apart from all. She's beyond that guna, triguna. Every god, we will say when you do Archana, Trigunatmikaye Namaha. Why we say Trigunatmikaye Namaha? Ganapati Atharvashisham talks about Tam Gunatrayatitaha. They are beyond those gunas. Those gods and goddesses, devas, are all beyond those gunas. So we need to go there. Because we came from there, we need to go there again. Moving on. Ashwapurvam Pradamadhyam. How are we doing with the time, Shifalaji? You're okay?
We're good. We're good for 10 more minutes.
Okay. Ashwapurvam Pradamadhyam Hastinadha Prabodhinim. So now, having invoked Mahalakshmi Devi into her heart, Ashwapurvam. Ashwa meaning the horses. The horses are in different, followed by the Ratha. Ashwapurvam Ratamadhyam. We will go into the meaning. Okay, just a high level meaning. So, woken up by whom? Woken up by the Hastinada. Nada means sound. Hastinada means the sounds of elephant. So you can imagine, the fire god is bringing the mother in the chariot and coming into the sadhaka now. Shriyam Devi Upakvaye. Upakvaye means when she comes closer. Shrirma Devi Jushatam. May that mother constantly bless me, the sadhaka. Jushtam. May that mother constantly bless me, the sadhaka. So this whole thing indicates that the mother, having been invited by the sadhaka, she is coming in a procession. In that procession, there are horses, there is a chariot, and behind the chariot, there is a whole truckload of things that she brings, carried by an elephant, right? On the other hand, what does this mean? The Shri Devi comes unto those who have yoked their horses into the chariot. Beautiful. So how many horses do we have? How many horses do we have as a mortal? We have 10 horses. 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action. You know what it is. 5 organs of perception and 5 organs of action. If we can yoke everything, all these 10, if we can control it, right, you would be the boss. You would be equivalent to that god. So how do we control this, all these 10 organs? Through our one's own mind, right? Through the reins of our mind. So we need to have certain discipline. We have to have that discipline. The discipline is required. Then we can have these organs of perception under perfect control. So usually, the boss of the house, I'm not saying who is the boss of the house, the boss of the house, let's say boss of the house, okay? So the, whoever it is, right? Why are they called the boss? Because the entire family listens to them or, takes guidance from them. Right? That is why they are called bosses. So in today's Kali Yuga, if you take, it's totally different. You talk to you call your son, beta, can you get me that? You say, you can go get yourself that. And on top of it, he will say, Mom, Dad, you guys are becoming so older nowadays. I don't know why. All you asked is just get me that. That's all you asked. Right? So now in your own house, when you ask something, you don't get it. And those days, when Maharaja and the kings were there, Maharaja will clap. And he claps the hand, everybody will come and now, Maharaja, what do you want? What do you want? In your own house, you try to clap. A rebounding sound will come. Why are you clapping? Right? So that's how it is. So how the horses are disciplined, how you have to discipline all those things, how the horses are disciplined. Usually they have a huge, when you look at the particular horse. If you go to Southwest ranches here, there are many horse shelters are there. So you just go how the horses are disciplined. I have seen once there. They have a big barricade, right? And then the horse is tied in the center. When a new horse come in, it's tied in the center, and then it just keeps on going round and round and round on the barricade. And then what they do, they will slowly shrink the barricade. And then it doesn't have any choice now, right? So now it got practiced into only with the small barricade here, right there. So it will just keep on going round and round and round. Then they will keep on shrinking. And then finally it gets introduced into a couple of people who are going to maintain the horse. And then it will go closely friendly with those top people. And then it gets yoked. Finally, the horse is yours. Similarly, when we have to control our horses, all the organs, you cannot control it the next day, overnight, you cannot control it. You will have to slowly do that practice. First, you have to control your tongue. The tongue does two things. One is tasting, another is talking. Tasting and talking. Both have to be controlled. If you can control that, then you can attain so many things. You are disease-free, and then you are so compassionate. Both you will attain it. What to eat, what not to eat, when to eat, everything is controlled by the tongue. What to speak, what not to speak, when not to speak. If all those things are there already, you controlled it. That is what Jnaneshwar Maharaj says. During the, I think 600 years ago, there was a big bhakti movement in Maharashtra. There, they are all seeking, the Lord Panduranga's abode. So if you do Namdev, Tukaram, Jnana, all those Eknath, right? So all those people, they're all saints. They have written a lot of abhangs about Panduranga, Lord Panduranga. And Jnaneshwar Maharaj clearly says, all you have to do is two things. Just control your tongue. That is enough. You can attain that abode. Nothing will get you. So slowly, you will have to introduce, or slowly you will have to start to withdraw everything from you. Slowly, it's not like, overnight, you cannot do this. So Ashwa Purvam meaning, firstly, it needs to be disciplined. Even the disciplining process itself is tough. However, the discipline process have to be very slow process. Otherwise, it will offend you. So even in the, everywhere it's the same thing. Even in the office or even in the home, it's the same thing. So nowadays people, that's why, when you go back and forth to the office, they say work from home. So when you do work from home, you practice all those things, right? Ashwa Purvam, being compassionate. Radha Madhyam, it can mean Radha in the middle of the Radha. Middle of the Radha or Radha in the middle. So we take the more subtlest meaning. Middle of the Radha, this, when you take the subtlest meaning, what is the middle of the Radha here in our body? The Mooladhara, right? From Mooladhara, and then you keep on, your energy will keep on going, and then it goes into the Sahasrara, right? Mooladhara, where the center of gravity area. This is the center of gravity area. When I say center of gravity area, you are all sitting on the chair, right? No, can you just stand up straightly like that? You cannot. Don't even try. You cannot. You have to bend forward a little. Don't even try that. You have to bend forward a little, and then only you can stand up. So that is the center of gravity here, right there. Right? That is the center of gravity. So that is the Mooladhara. From that Mooladhara to that Sahasrara, right? The energy have to flow. That when you control everything, all these three things, whatever we just spoke about, when you control all these things, the energy automatically flows. Hastinada Prabodhinim. Who is Hastinada? Hastinada, it's the Lord Ganesha here. Somebody interpreted as Lord Ganesha, who is invoked and the Kundalini Shakti rises. So we are going into the subtlest meaning. Remember we said we are going into all three levels, Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, and Adhyatmika. So this is the most subtlest meaning of this mantra. So Shriyam Devi Mupahvaye Shrirma Devi Jushatam. Devim Jushatam, may she protect me, may the mother protect me. Once Devi is invoked and she is coming, how is the experience of her coming? That is what is said in this mantra. She's coming with the entire paraphernalia. right? When you call your mother from India, when the 4 days before she comes, you call her, and then mother will ask, hey, what do you want from India? What can I get you? You said, everything here is here, mom. Nothing. I don't need anything. But when she comes, how does she come? She comes with the entire paraphernalia, including the pickles and all the dhanyas, whatever you need, everything she'll bring, including rice also sometimes. Even though you get everything, she brings everything. That is the mother. So when she comes into your heart, when she comes into your house, how much she will bring? Imagine. Entire paraphernalia, everything she will bring. And whatever she brings, it has to be stable. Anapagamini. You don't want to give away everything. It has to glow in your face. The glowing of your face, if you look at Ramakrishna and Vivekananda, all those saints, the face, the tejas, we call that as the tejas, right? So you see the face glow. But what we do, we apply Fair and Lovely to make the face glow, right? That is not the glow we are talking about here. The glow have to come, the tejas have to come. When does it come? You have to do that tapas, you have to do that meditation. Meditate upon whom? Meditate upon this Shri Lakshmi. Now it is Lakshmi. You can meditate upon anybody, anything. Here in this context, we are talking about Lakshmi, right? So, Kam So Smitam Hiranya Pragaram is the next mantra. I think we ran out of time, so we will continue this in the next session also. I think we have a lot of information, so we just have to absorb all this, and then we will continue again. So until then, keep on meditating, and then we will see in the next session. If you have any questions or comments, I'm glad to take it now.
Any comment? Hi, namaskar. This was absolutely beautiful, very engaging, Kaniyurji. It's so beautiful.
Oh, no.
Namaskar.
Thank you.
We will reschedule. It's going to be either March 7th, most likely, because Swamiji has just taken February 26th. So the next session is going to be on March 7th, if it's convenient to Rajesh ji. He and I will coordinate, and we'll send you the dates, and we'll also send you a recording of this session so you can review it and try and practice on the Suktam, so that we can all try and also learn. The ideal thing would be over 5-6 sessions, if we can all learn the Saraswati, the Lakshmi Suktam, and be able to say it for Diwali. We'll be all ready already.
Definitely. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you all. If I can spend another 5 more minutes, if you have any questions,
of course.
Yeah.
Rajesh ji, good evening. It was fantastic. This is Shri here. I had a very quick question. I had a very quick question. Is when you're meditating on Lakshmi Devi, Manamagamini, when you're doing that, so do you say the slokams at that time, or you meditate just the form of the Lakshmi by herself? And for how long do you think it's suggested to do that?
Yes, since you know this if you know these mantras already, it is all in your heart already. So you know what kind of Lakshmi you want to invoke onto your spiritual heart, right? So you invoke that Lakshmi and meditate upon that Lakshmi. You don't really need to chant this mantra because you already knew it, what kind of Lakshmi it is. These mantras and everything is to give you the knowledge to meditate upon. Because if you don't know these mantras, you don't even know who Lakshmi is.
Right.
Okay. Similarly, if you don't even like Ganapati, let's say, for example, Ganapati, how do you know Ganapati is this form? From the Vedic literature, Ganapati authorization, we know Ganapati authorization, Ekadantam, Chaturhastam, Pashamangushadarinam, Ekadantam, Chaturkastam, 4 hands, right? So that is the structure of Ganapati. Raktam, Lambodhanam, Shurpakarnakam, Raktavasam, that is the structure of Ganapati. Right, so we know Ganapati, how the structure of Ganapati is, we know how the structure of Lakshmi Devi is, and then you invoke into your heart, and then you start meditating upon. These mantras, everything will lead you to that knowledge. It's just an instrument, like we said, it's an instrument, but you need to use your intelligence to do the meditation.
It was so nice and you answered my question very well, and it was so interesting, the whole topic of today, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you again, Rajesh.
Thank you, Sridhar. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I have a question. So thank you so much. It is very interesting and illuminating. So we have so many gods. We have Rama, we have Krishna, we have Durga, we have Kali and Shiva.
Correct.
So how do we pick and choose which one we should invoke and whom should we worship?
Doesn't matter. Let's say you like Lord Krishna, you start meditating upon Lord Krishna. You like, it's up to you. It's up to whatever God you want to, because that's why, we say Sanatana Dharma, it's, it's monotheistic. However, it is polytheistic, so it's like combination without even breaking anything, right? So every people have their own nature of following the God, right? I mean, if you are like a Shaivite, you follow Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva's peripheral is Ganapati, Saraswati, Kamakshi, Swami Ayyappa. All those are God Shiva's deities. And if you are a Vaishnavite, Rama, Krishna, right, Balaji, Hanuman, all those deities are like Vishwaksena. All those are like, Vishnu's deities. So you can start meditating upon whomever you think. If you are if you want to do Surya Narayana meditation, Pratyaksha, that is the only God you can see on your naked eyes, Surya. Chant Aditya Hridayam is more powerful. Chant Aditya Hridayam, that is more powerful. You can start meditating upon that Surya Narayana. You know the Surya Narayana structure, right? It comes on the horse with the 7 horses, 7 that represents the 7 chandas. You can start meditating upon that attribute. So it doesn't matter, you can, definitely you are right. There are so many gods, so many goddesses, we pray upon. It does not matter which God, whatever you like, whatever is comfortable for you, whoever can stable, whoever can, sit on your spiritual heart, you can start meditating upon. Or you can just close your eyes and then just look at the space. That's enough. Because even this space, entire nature, you perceive in and through the nature, through Rudram. Rudram has everything. If you chant Rudram, if you know Rudram, everything is there. Everything, whatever you perceive, including Vrichebhyo, Haikeshava, including the trees, including the leaves of the trees, including the water, Meghyayacha, Vidyutyayacha, including the space, including the rain, including the water in the pool, water in the river, water in the ocean, you name it. Everything is said in Rudra. Shravayacha, Prati Shravayacha. You just have to, like we said, we just have to put some effort, right? Shravayacha, you just clap your hand. You are just putting the effort of clapping the hand. How does the sound come? And how does the rebounding sound come? Shravayacha, Prati Shravayacha. Every sound has the rebounding sound also. The resonance also. Every sound has the resonance. It is clearly said. Nama Shravayacha, Prati Shravayacha, Nama Asushenayacha, Surathayacha. It's all said, everything through. So you can start meditating upon just by the water. Just go sit on the ocean. Just meditate upon the water. Swamiji has given a nice presentation about the water. Water has 34 names. You can start meditating upon the water. It's all nature.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. No problem. Anything else?
So the soft copy of the Shri Suktam, that will be in the group. In which group? Is there any group for this meditation?
There's no group. It's organized by our International Hindu University Shafalaji organizes it. Shekhar Reddy runs it. So the mantras.
We can send it to you. Since you've registered for this, I'll send the soft copy along with an edited version of this. If I can get that from Rajesh, we'll send it to all of you who were here today. And I'll actually send it to all of our 400, 500 people who are registered with us, and everybody could have the benefit of it. We'll start making that a practice. If I can start getting into the practice of editing and sending it off, we can try and do that and put it in our IHU YouTube. Our address, if you want to connect with us, is ihuusa.org.
Yeah. If not, our guru is always there. Who is our guru? Google is our guru. So yes. You can just put it, Shri Suktam. You will get it in so many different texts.
I love it.
Vaidika, Vijnana, so many different languages also you'll get. So vaidikavijnana.org, that is one of the website where you can go and then you can download the Shri Suktam material. So right now
yes.
in Kali, yes.
I would like to have the meaning that is printed along with when we were explaining the English meaning of the shlokas.
Okay.
You mean the PowerPoint? The PowerPoint?
I just spoke. I don't know. I have not documented a lot of things. So I just spoke. But high level meaning, yes, I can. But if not, all these examples, whatever I have given, I don't know if I have documented all this. So,
So just the meaning, the high level meaning.
Okay, sure, definitely. I will document it. Yeah.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Yeah, or I can send this PowerPoint presentation itself, so you can have this meaning of each and every word at least.
Oh yes, that will be very good.
So that will help. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
WhatsApp group or something, sir, or only through the link we have to go?
There is no, I don't know. Shefalaji, can you answer that?
I'm good. If you can put your email in the chat box for everybody who wants it. If you're not already on the IHU email, just put on your chat box your email, and I'll make sure that all of you get that. Just put that in the chat box. I'll save all the emails and make sure that we get the PowerPoint out to all 19 of us who are here. I'll try and take a picture of it. Shri Bhai, would you be kind enough to just take a picture of the names for me, please, of the participants, so that I make sure that I have that and send that to me? I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, someone has provided the email address also in the chat. I think Vinodji.
Vaidyanathanji, thank you. This is fabulous. This really was very insightful and informative, because even though I've heard the Shri Suktam many times, really never appreciated the depth of what you're saying. When you go word by word, it just has a whole different meaning. So thank you for that, and giving examples.
Thank you, Shefalaji.
Thank you so much.
No, my pleasure. Thank you. So namaskaram everyone. Thank you. If you do not have any further questions, probably we can end this call, and then we will meet again on March 7th, right, Shefalaji?
Yes, please.
Yeah, March 7th. Yeah. But every week we do have the discourses. If you find time, so please attend those discourses. All are wonderful discourses. It give you a lot of insight meanings, and the way of life, how we live. The Sanatana Dharma, it all talks about. So if you get a chance, every Saturday 10 o'clock, right, Shefalaji?
That's exactly right. Thank you for that. And next week, guys, we have an excellent session, and which will be the beginning of us improving our health. It is on nature care, not with any medicines, but really nature care. Arun Sharma ji is going to be speaking to us, and his grandfather was actually started this whole nature care process in the world. So he will be with us, and it's an interactive session, 15 minutes each on what it is, how it is being handled, and then he'll answer questions for us, and we'll offer a course later on as well if you're interested. So thank you. Thank you all for joining. We really, really appreciate your patronage. And this is all possible only because of all of you joining, and because of people like Rajesh ji, who is willing to give his time to educate us. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Namaskaram, everyone.
Thank you. Namaskaram. Thank you so much.
Namaskar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.